VSiN, the sports betting network.
Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard as we're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Big show lined up over the next 3 hours. We'll of course get into the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Major League Baseball games going on as we speak. Great guests on the program, including Jeff Seeley, best bets on the PGA Tour this week, coming up bottom of the hour. Jeff Sherman at the Westgate. They made a major announcement last week regarding contests and what they're going to do for the football season. 2 new contests they're going to debut. And this, I think, is awesome and very exciting news for the audience, Paulie.
Damn right.
It's huge.
Yes. Yeah, it is big news, especially that we're talking about a contest that people have been asking for a while.
Yeah, and that's coming up in about an hour. And also Wednesdays with the maestro, Mike Palm from right here at Circa, coming up in the second hour of today's program. I am personally trying to recover from an absolute bloodbath yesterday. My apologies. It did not go well. I mean, that's one of the worst days. Those are the type of days that you wish never to have. As the games were unfolding last night, I'm like, I'm going to lose another bet and another one. And like, this is not going well. And there's no getting around that. I mean, it was vile and nasty. But, you live to bet another day, and that's where we're going to try to pick up the pieces today and maybe move on and get some best bets at cash and kind of rebound from what took place yesterday. The games that are in action right now, that a baseball team is really, really bad when ESPN is now picking up on it and saying that it's a national story. That's what happened yesterday on Pardon the Interruption with Kornheiser and Wilbon. They actually put the Rockies in their rundown and talked about it, and they're not kidding. And, we've been trying to explain to you as well for a long time just how bad they are. They're in action as we speak. They have 4 wins on the year. That is it. It's May tomorrow. Their run differential is minus 78. And just trying to find ways. I tried yesterday twice. I failed. Lost both bets. But right now, Paulie, they lead Chris Sale and the Braves 2-1, and they're in the 4th inning. On the live line, the Braves are minus 115. And on the run line, they're higher than plus 150. I looked the overnight. I saw minus 160 on the run line. And then this morning, I really couldn't even find one. Other books were just posting either minus 2.5 runs or minus 3.5 runs in this game today for the Braves.
Yep. If they lose, they would join the 88 Orioles. It's the only team to start 4-26. Lost. I hope people can't hear that.
I know.
We go back to the South Point days. Someone pulled an alarm. They've lost 16-17, and they're giving up 6 runs per game. And it's bad when you said, like, the national shows are talking about them, but to be 4-25 and you haven't won back-to-back games, 1-14 on the road, 1-13 at night, 0-9 against lefties, striking out 28% of the time, which of course would be a record. Starters ERA 6.73. They're already 16 games out. As Jeff Passan wrote, they're not bad. They're tragic. And keep in mind the schedule. This is like, so what the White Sox did, the White Sox were still in a bad division, right? Or a so-so division. You got 46 games left against the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, and Diamondbacks.
What do you think their updated win total is going to be next Monday? Remember when we talked about that 2 days ago? It was 48.5.
Yeah.
It might be low 40s. Soon it might touch 30s at some point for the updated win total.
I don't think he should be drug tested. I mean, it's all-time bad what they're doing here.
And by the way, so this kid going today for them, Dollander, his numbers so far, absolutely horrendous. Today against the Braves, he's only allowed 1 run. Mm-hmm. It's actually, he's kind of making it look easy a little bit, so to speak. Does this continue?
I hope not. I don't think so. The other thing is, if you want to get involved in play, though, you got to be careful with Sale. Because, they're going to the bullpen. He hasn't got an out yet in the season in the 6th inning. So, what's he, might make me 6 more outs? That's it?
Right.
And it's his first appearance in Coors since 2011. How about that?
Oh, geez.
But that's right. So that's what you're up against here as well. But I wanted to, of course, take him before the game. But maybe Colorado hangs around and Atlanta can't muster anything offensively.
Well, here's the deal. Right before the show started, I wish we were on the air to bring this up because they were minus 106 to win the game. Now they're minus 132 as we go to the top of the 5th.
Yep.
Now that's a 26-cent difference in the span of 5 minutes here. 6 minutes. 106 looked kind of attractive to me. did not get down. They were also higher than plus 160 on the run line. They also, like last night on the overnight, the first number that I saw on the Braves was minus 225. That vanished immediately, Paulie. That got to like 280 before you could blink in this game.
Yeah, and a big move last night as well.
So that game,
it's been free money.
Of course. The other game going on right now, the Dodgers were actually bigger favorites in this game against the Marlins, and so far it's panning out that way. They lead Miami 4-0. This was Gonsolin making his first start for L.A.
in 600 days, so good for him. Muncy goes deep early. You want to get nuts? The Marlins are 20-1 in play. Still only in the fourth inning. Remember the Braves. The Dodgers just blew a 5-run lead against the Marlins, but good to have them back. And they got more good news. They're hearing Ohtani second half of the season, Kershaw mid-May, Glasnow and Snell in May.
Okay.
Targeting their comebacks. But 9.5 the total in play, and we'll see if they can get to Gonsolin, but it's great to have him back. And there's a lot of great stories like that today with Gonsolin coming back and a lot of guys making their debuts, and Giolito's finally going for the Red Sox.
That's right. I do have a bet in this game. It's up on the VSiN website. I put it up there. I haven't checked the box score, but it's Freddie Freeman over 1.5 total bases. He has really good career numbers against Cal Quantrill. That was minus 110. Two games coming up very soon as we have Angels, Mariners. Don't look now.
I played the over.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So I know his numbers are good, but you say the regression's coming with Anderson. 8 runs allowed in 5 starts. He's been solid, and here comes Seattle. So good for them. Total only 8.5. They're on a 14-5 run, and the offense has been dangerous, led by Polanco, who's 10 for his last 20 with 6 bombs.
Yeah, two of them last night. Not in the lineup today.
Yeah, that was disappointing. I was looking for his props. Hancock's $1.40, but I like over 8.5 in this one.
So here's the funny thing that's happening, right? Everybody said this before the season. The offense for the Mariners cannot possibly be as bad as it was last year. And so far, that's panning out. They're coming on. I can detail this a little bit later on because I'm looking at them for maybe the most wins in May. Haven't done it yet, but they have some really good advanced numbers on the offense. The problem is everybody expected the pitching to be the same, and it's not. The pitching has come back to earth. Mm-hmm. And you also can tie in the Logan Gilbert injury.
Yep.
So that's a little dicey, obviously, for the team. And other games starting here momentarily. So you have a bet on the over in that game. Michael King today is going for the Padres against Roop and the Giants here. Both teams obviously very strong starts to the season in April. King's numbers overall against the Giants, they're okay. They're nothing to write home about. But they are minus 130, and I heard the fellas on prop points earlier today making the case for Michael King to go over his K prop, which you could definitely twist my arm on.
All right. Do you want to stop in front of this Mets freight train? It's a cheap price at home against Burns. Palm's been all over Burns. He hasn't pitched well. He's $1.12. The Mets on pace to win 113 games. They would be the 7th team since 1900 to start 14-1 at home. The 2023 Rays did it. I don't remember this. The 02 Twins did it. But number 1 starter ERA in the league. And do you want to get in front of the Mets here and try to go with Arizona? I think that's risky business. But Arizona,
I don't disagree.
$1.12. Yeah, this would be something. What a start and what they're doing. They're also 18-4 at home against Arizona, going back since 2018.
Braves with a runner on first right now, nobody out as they play in the 5th. They're now minus 154 to win the game. And look at that, 2 runs scored by the Marlins now in the 4th. They trail the Dodgers by a score of 4-2. Dodgers now $11 to win the game. Marlins 6-1 in the take back.
The other thing, let's not, they're saying, hey, don't forget about us, is the White Sox. So getting lost in this Colorado mess is Chicago's doing it again. And the Brewers, big move on the Brewers last night, and now they're only $1.60 with Myers against Smith. Milwaukee, 7 in a row, and 11 of 12 against the White Sox. And you can get them $1.60 on the road.
Well, there you go. Good stuff. NBA, the Rockets got to as high as 4.5 tonight in this game against the Warriors. I think that was maybe the ceiling because it came back down to 4. You on the Warriors in this game?
I don't want Houston.
And neither do I.
But I put the tinfoil hat on. It's like they're not going to get a game on Friday. Like both of these teams are going to close them out. Hard to envision we don't have an NBA playoff game on Friday. But these series have been short. But where's the offense coming from Houston's standpoint? They need a big game from Green, and they got to stop missing free throws, too. But, again, all these numbers are real and spectacular since the Butler trade and what he's meant to him with the number 1 defense, points off defense, turnovers forced, and what they're doing. I just don't think Houston can score enough to warrant laying this with the spread, even though it's a must-win. Because Curry, they're all saying the right things. Like, don't let him back in the game in the series. Let's wrap it up. Need the rest, all this, right? They're veterans. They know. They're saying all the right things. Unlike the Maple Leafs, who insist they're fine, even though they've lost 2 in a row and the series is now 3-2.
No kidding. So I did a little deeping on this whole Jalen Green situation against the Warriors. The one good game that he had in the series is when he went for 30-plus points. That was Game 2 at home. That was, and by the way, the guy who guarded him a lot in that game, or I should say Green went off against, was Quentin Post, the big guy for the Warriors. And the reason why Kerr, I think, had to start him is because of, obviously, the Jimmy Butler injury. But there was also the fact that the Warriors were getting dominated on the glass. So he wanted Post to play a little bit more and get some help out with the rebounding, which he did, like 12 rebounds in one of the games. But Jalen Green did a great job against Post in that game when he was guarding him one-on-one. Post owned it after the game, said that's completely on me. I went back and looked at like every other game this year for Jalen Green, going back in the regular season. It has not been kind to him. The Warriors have dominated this guy.
Yeah.
So his prop now tonight is down to 16.5. Typically, I want to buy low. I just think it might be a terrible matchup for him overall. And I think the game that he went for 38 points when he was on Post quite a bit in that game was maybe the outlier there.
I think you're right. And I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State takes him out again. And you're paying a tax on the Lakers, too.
Yeah, you are.
Up to 6 with the must-win. Looking for a new way to feel the rush this Kentucky Derby? First Bet is your front-row seat to the fastest 2 minutes in sports. Bet on the Derby and hundreds of other races every day. FirstBet.com. New users, promo code VSiN200. Grab a $200 sign-up bonus. Derby starts at First Bet. Get it now. FirstBet.com.
We will expand on the player props to get into tonight on both those NBA games. And we'll discuss updated series prices and look ahead to the next round of the playoffs as well. We were both floored at the opening number. We'll get into it next year and Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Time. There's nothing more valuable. It's what drives everyone to make the most of every moment. We celebrate living large in the now. In a city where time disappears, we create experiences that electrify the soul and memories that will last forever. We go big, we go all night, and here, everyone is invited. So get loose and get loud.
This is Circa. You'll have the time of your life.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah. Came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Let me give you the scores when these two teams played throughout the regular season. January 12th in Cleveland, Cavs were -9. Total was 239.5. Keep in mind, Tyrese Halliburton got hurt in that game. He had 2 points in 18 minutes. The Pacers blew him out, 108-93.
That was a strange game.
That win snapped a Cavaliers 12-game winning streak.
Yeah.
2 days later,
yeah,
they played in Indiana. The Cavs were -8. Halliburton did not play in that game. Total was 230.5. Cavaliers beat them 127-117. Mitchell had 35 there.
Mm-hmm.
I look back at the games in April. They played twice. You got to throw them both out.
It's the last day of the season and then the last week of the season.
Yep.
Hardly anybody played. Absolutely.
So your reaction last night when you saw Jeff Sherman at the Westgate, who's coming up in 45 minutes on this show, open up the Cavaliers -$5 to win the series?
Shocked. I thought the same thing. Kirk Goldsberry made it the same price I did, like $2. And he comes out $5. And they're 7.5 in game one this weekend. It's, in light of what happened last night, I know they got the win, but it was a bad performance. But Indiana's playing top 5 basketball since January.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing a good job with the defense, and they're deep. You got the top two teams in fourth quarter offense. The Cavs just destroyed and embarrassed Miami, who had a top 10 defense and averaged 136 points per 100 possessions. It was incredible. But the run that Indiana's on, and the fact that they're not going to be afraid of anyone, that they think that $5 is way too high here, and it's come down at some spots. Yeah. Now it's like you can get 3-1 or lower than that at DraftKings. But 7.5 in game one, and for the Cavs to be a $5 favorite, I think it's going to be a fantastic series in terms of scoring and up and down. But Indiana has depth and a lot of different guys that can score.
So would you be looking to play overs early in the series? Maybe first half, full game? And then typically speaking in the NBA, as a series progresses and it gets into like game 5, game 6, that's when the games start to usually go under, historically speaking. But I think that we can get some fireworks here in game one.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavaliers go 1,000 miles an hour, man.
Yeah.
And the Pacers, that's who they are and what they do as well.
Number one offense in the league, no doubt. And pace could play a role in this, and also how deadly they are from three, too. So I think it's a good in-play from an in-play standpoint to see how they're going to do. Because they were horrendous defensively in the first 2 games against Miami, but they fixed that up and also did a great job on the glass in the last 2 games. So I think it's too high, and I don't even know. I'll ask Jeff Sherman coming up, but I don't even want to ask what Boston, New York is now, if that would be the matchup. Because the Celtics swept the Knicks. One of the wins was in overtime, and then they went 3-1 against Detroit. I agree with you that Detroit might give them more of a problem.
Oh, I'm convinced that they would.
But look at the scores, what they did against them. The late game was the guys were out, but it was 119-117. There was a 132-109 opening night, a 131-104, and a 118-105. And they did this thing that they could not do, which if you were going to have a chance in this series, you don't screw around with Detroit. And they lose again at home. Brunson got banged up. That's just horrible luck that you can't get Brunson and Hart back in the game because there's not a dead ball situation or a foul. Yep. And by that time, they're already down 6. So it's over. But now they have to go 6 and maybe 7, and the champs will be well rested, and they were phenomenal against Orlando.
So what would you do if the Celtics opened up? I don't think you can make them $5, so against the Knicks.
$1,000? $9?
No, I don't think you make them 5. I think it's shorter than that.
The Celtics?
Yeah.
Against the Knicks? You make it shorter than $5?
I think based on when you look at the future prices and stuff like that, where are the Pacers compared to the Knicks? I'll pull it up right now.
Right. Well, that also hurts me because you're better off with the rollover parlay as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I had the Pacers 19-1 to win the East, but if you're going to be a big dog like this, and then you bigger price maybe against Boston too, with their power rating. But
I'll tell you flat out,
a game and a half. You lay a game and a half in a series.
Yeah,
that's a gentleman's sweep best for Knicks.
And I'd like to take a game and a half with the Pacers, or maybe even take like 2.5 games and pay some money on that. But I would expect. To me, the Pacers are going to give the Cavaliers a series much more than the Knicks would give the Celtics. I think the Celtics will beat them in 5. Could be a sweep. I do not anticipate this other series being a sweep whatsoever. How do you rank the best players in this series? Mitchell's number 1. He's the best player. Would you go Mobley 2? Where do you put Halliburton? Where does Garland fit in the mix?
Halliburton's on a mission right now with the overrated article. I mean, he's just
I don't blame him.
He's playing phenomenal basketball. And it was unfortunate what happened after the game. We got 2 scuffles after the game. But also, Cleveland won't allow that. You can't go iso ball and give up layups where you got the big guy with him. I mean, there's a huge difference between Milwaukee and Cleveland in terms of coaching and defense. So that might be a rude awakening for Indiana from that standpoint. That was atrocious what happened in overtime. But, are you a big experience guy? Because I think experience is big. And one to touch on experience, and also one thing from an in-play standpoint tonight, Golden State is plus 15 in the fourth quarter in the 3 wins. They know how to win. They've been here before. While you have Van Vliet, some of the other guys are really making mistakes and turning the ball over and not getting good looks. So I think if it's tight in the second half, you got to take Golden State as well from that standpoint.
I think, that does play a part, certainly in that series, but I don't think it's played a part at all in the New York series against the Pistons.
That's true.
Right, at all. I mean, honestly.
So I was shocked. The Pistons are not afraid. They think they're the better team, and they go in there, and the home team's only won 1 game in that series, and they've won, 4 times in the Garden this year?
Yeah, I'm not even exaggerating here. I would much rather see, well, first of all, I have to tell you that I have the Pistons on a future to win the East, and I only did it specifically so I could hedge eventually, and I didn't do it against the Knicks, but I would fully anticipate, my expectations would be for the Pistons to give the Celtics a much more difficult series than the Knicks. That's also based on how it went in the regular season, but as you're seeing right now, the Pistons, they don't care that they're playing in New York. They're 2-1 in the Garden in the playoff series right now. They did well in the regular season. It doesn't matter to them. I mean, they have no fear whatsoever, and they will not be scared of it. Now, the talent gap between them and the Celtics is quite clear. That's almost like the Grand Canyon because the Celtics are so talented that it's not going to matter to them. And I don't think the Celtics will have an answer for Cade Cunningham in that series. Now, that would all come down to the others for the Pistons, and that's why the Celtics would eventually, I think, win it, probably in 5 themselves, but
he was great in the 1 win Detroit had in the regular season against them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a bad job by the Knicks to lose that.
Find me a dog here that you want to bet to win the series in the NHL. The Senators are plus 320 against the Maple Leafs. Any interest?
Live. Absolutely. They're live. And then the Maple Leafs are saying all the wrong things. And we got a great email, which I'll share coming up before the show. There was a guy who was at the game last night, and just the air goes out of the balloon when they give up the first goal. And everyone's so tense, and just, again, they haven't won a big game since 1967, and now you are 1-14 with a chance to eliminate your opponent. During that stretch, they're 0 for 30 on the power play. It's ridiculous.
Now, come on, how is that possible, Paul?
So it's just... Davis has continued to rip them, and you got to hate to lose more than you love to win. I think he's spot on with that, but they've seen this before, and I don't know how you go up 3-0. Number one, the fans come to the game with the broom. That backfires. They get excited. They're ready to move on. Last night, they get beat, even though they outshot them, but you get shut out. And now you got several players after the game. We're up 3-2. We're fine. How can you say you're fine? I mean, if you lose tomorrow, it's Game 7, and then you're really looking at the choke job here.
I actually
and you just blew a 3-1 series lead in the bubble against Montreal.
I think I like their chances better in Game 6 than I would in Game 7. Because then they're going to come back home, and the entire place would feel it again. It'd be squeaky bum time, and the pressure would be so immense on those players. I think if the number's right, I might bet him in Game 6, and I would not want anything to do with him in Game 7. How the tables have turned here. At one point, you could have grabbed the Oilers at plus 180-ish to win the series. Now they're minus 360.
Yep, sorry, guys. Had it wrong. Edmonton dominated the game. I know it was close, 1-1, but they dominated, and ice was tilted, and they did a great job. And finally, our Kempe prop lost, too, as he only had 2 shots on goal. So that is completely flipped. You're right. It was more Hiller and L.A. giving them the series. Could have been a sweep, or at least should be up 3-1. They're in trouble, and how the tables have turned. And how unlucky were the Minnesota Wild?
I mean, it's your state, man.
You score the game-winning goal, it gets reviewed twice, and then it's offsides. Then your goalie gets sick in the second period. You got to put Fleury out there, and then you lose in overtime.
You are now inventing ways to win from that state, or to lose.
Yes,
right.
I know.
Devastating losses again for generations if you're from the state of Minnesota.
But I think plus 540 is crazy, though. To get plus 540 to win the series?
Especially when I wrote down plus 450 at the one book that I looked at. Or 2 books I looked at,
behind
actually.
Me. Yeah, right behind me has got it as well. So, and I know Washington has that bad history as well, but this is big tonight. They're saying all the right things, too. Got to finish it. Got to jump on Montreal. Backup goalie. We're the better team. Let's go. Let's not mess around. got to take them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to. Yeah, Florida and Tampa's intriguing, which we'll get to coming up. And I already bet the Blues with Hellebuck, his issues. More on that coming up. ProfitX offering the best odds all baseball season long. Peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40-plus states. The first of its kind in the U.S. You'll be able to make your picks against other groups of fans rather than against other books. Exchanges guarantee you the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. You can even request your own odds. Download ProfitX today, code VSiN. Earn up to $200 in profit cash over your first month.
Golf handicapper and better friend of the show, Jeff Seeley, on the program next. We'll get his best bets for the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson. I know that he's hot and heavy on a golfer in the 50-1 range. Find out how he's going to approach him next here on VSiN.
To the Derby, playoffs to the draft, we have your summer covered with a VSiN Pro subscription for just $59 until August 1st. That means expert picks for every major event, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, 24/7 video access on the VSiN Watch app, as well as betting guides for the Kentucky Derby and the NFL. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $59 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome in. We're live as always, downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is the spot. We'll get some best bets here on the PGA Tour this week. The 2025 CJ Byron Nelson is the event, and our buddy Jeff Seeley joins the program now on the Progressive Guest Line. You can follow him on X. He is at Cupmaker Jeff. Good afternoon, pal. How are things?
Hey, fellas, great.
You know what? This is it's a strange event this week because when you look at the odds to win this thing, you're going to see Scotty Scheffler up there, and then the next biggest names are Jordan Spieth, Sungjae Im, Ben An, Sam Burns at the top of the odds board. Great golfers, don't get me wrong. But, man, this is Scotty and then, not a lot of the best other golfers in the world. So what really caught your eye to begin things here?
Yeah, guys, I mean, I simply can't bet 3-1, but there are some guys that I can make an argument for at the top of the board. And the thing that really caught my eye looking at this, DraftKings, I'm not usually not a big proponent of the winner without market, right? Especially when Scotty plays.
All right, we'll try to reconnect there. A little bit dicey sell with Jeff Seeley. That's going to be a good way to approach it because he's below 3-1 at some books to win this thing.
Yeah.
So, as we've talked about many times, that's going to create some value on some of the other guys down the board. And hopefully we can reconnect because he's going to make a good case here and a strong case for a bunch of guys who are, 35-1 or below. And then obviously when you get involved as well, Paulie, with the placement markets, some pretty good numbers on, again, there's no Rory here. There's no Xander. You're eliminating a ton of the best golfers in the world here for this event, and then that's going to create bigger numbers than you typically might have or possibilities here. So,
$1.65 to finish top 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, my God.
Right? I mean, below 3-1. That's that is Tiger Woods territory when you eliminate some of the other best guys that there are. So if he doesn't have it this week and he's off a little bit and he doesn't scoop this thing, then you're looking automatically at a guy that's going to have a nice number on this thing. So it's a long course, not overly difficult. I don't like to get involved with guys who are that low typically. I also would not want to be on Jordan Spieth at 18-1. And when you work your way down, I typically would look at somebody like Steven Yeager here for a first-round leader market who's been really, really good in that market so far this season. But we now reconnect with Jeff Seeley on the Progressive Guest Line here. You were saying about Scotty being this low and what that does overall to your betting philosophy this week.
Yeah, guys, when Scotty's this low, he just inflates the price of everybody else. And so a lot of times in the winner without market, I'll bet it. I won't bet it, actually, and I'll keep Scotty in there because we can get inflated guys on inflated prices on a lot of guys. But this week, DraftKings has an offering where it's no Scotty Scheffler, it's no Jordan Spieth, it's no Ben An, it's no Sungjae Im. I mean, you've got 30% of the win equity eliminated at the top of the board. So I think this is a phenomenal opportunity to take some shots on 4 guys further down the board that may finish 3rd or 4th, but that 3rd or 4th may be good enough to get the payout if it's Scotty Scheffler 1 and Ben An 2. So I'm really excited about this week from a betting perspective.
Well, okay, so, yeah. Now, this guy is somebody that you have made the case for throughout the entire year. It's Jake Knapp, but that's the same thing, right? You're going to go winner without at DraftKings and bet him at 35-1?
That's exactly right. And when you're looking at a potential shootout and a low-scoring event like we're going to have this week, you want a guy who you know can make birdies. As we saw at the Cognizant Classic earlier in the year when he opened the event with a 59, Jake Knapp can go as low as anybody. His ball striking has been phenomenal lately. He's having one of the best seasons, obviously, he's had. He came on strong last year, having a really good season. Finished inside the top 27 in 5 of his last 7 events, and it was really solid with his irons in all of them. Last year, he finished 8th here. So we've got a guy, when we eliminated 30% of the equity, I like a lot. Jake Knapp, 35-1, 8th here last year, finishing well in his recent events here. So he's the top of the guy I'm looking at in this winner without market.
Okay, talk to me. How about 50-60-1 in that range? Go ahead.
Yeah, so Ryo Hisatune is another guy who was 13th at the Byron Nelson last year and comes in having finished top 5 in his last 2 of his last 4 events. The form's there and the experience is there as well. So he's gained with his irons in 4 straight tournaments. And if they really get hot like they did at the shootout in Mexico, where he gained almost 6 shots with his long iron play, this guy can absolutely make a run at winning the event. So one of the big guns here may beat him out, but again, Hisatune is a great play and the winner without market. Another guy I like is Rico Hoey, who's 50-1 in the same market. He, guys, interestingly enough, is the only guy who actually popped higher than Scotty Scheffler. So in a couple models, he actually ranked first over Scotty Scheffler, which kind of blew me away. The primary reason is his long iron play has been really, really sharp lately, coming in gaining 3 strokes on approach over his last 4 events. So he's a very solid driver of the golf ball. He proved it here last year, gaining almost 3 strokes off the tee. So in general, he's a bad putter. But one of the things we don't worry about this week is putting as much, because this is arguably the easiest course for putting on the PGA Tour. So our non-putters, Ben An would be a good example of that, are guys who are in play this week. So he's had, again, 3 top 6 finishes in the last 12 months. So we know he's capable of showing up near the top of the leaderboard. I think this may be a good week to take a look at him. And then lastly, guys, Sami Valimaki, you can find him at 65-1 in the winner without market. The struggle that Valimaki has is it doesn't always know where his tee ball is going to go off the tee. Not something I'm overly concerned about here, but this guy's irons have been elite, absolutely elite so far year to date. He showed it in Houston when he gained over 8 strokes on approach. So again, when we're looking at guys who are great with their long irons, there's another guy, Sami Valimaki, I love a lot in this market this week, 65-1. I actually bet him at 70, so you can find him in that market as well. 4 guys, and the winner without market this week is a really unique opportunity to take some big swings at DraftKings.
All right, very good. Love the approach. You can follow Jeff on X. He is at Cutmaker Jeff. You're in the great city of Memphis. I've heard nothing but dynamite things about the barbecue around Beale Street, so you have yourself a time, okay?
Appreciate it, fellas.
Be good.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go. He was on the Progressive guest line.
The Rockies got out of it.
They did, with runners on first and second.
Bottom of the 6th. They're $1.60 in play. Atlanta can't hit?
Nope.
Come on.
So
this team with an ERA of 7?
Go back over that stat that you threw out there earlier on Chris Sale entering the 6th inning.
Hasn't gotten out in the 6th.
Okay, he's at 67 pitches. 67 pitches so far. That's it. Yeah. And let me check here because I'll see where the Rockies are going to be at in the order. Does it matter? They're going to go 1, 2, 3. And Doyle, who's batting leadoff today, has a home run off Chris Sale. Do you want to do it right now? The Braves are going to have 6, 7, and 8 coming up in the next inning. Do you want to grab plus 132? It's the Rockies we're talking about. You're not going to get plus money very often.
Yeah, I want to see the 4 and 26 as well. Set the record with the 88 Orioles. Damn, can't get there. Sometimes, getaway day. We play a lot of games. Gee whiz, it's a casino. People got to win sometime. Maybe the Rockies got. And if you tell me the Rockies are going to win a game, I'd say no way in hell. It'd be 2-1. Right here, if they can't score. 1-1 Angels and Mariners already in the second.
I'm doing it. I'm firing right now on the Braves plus money.
I tell you, I did bet. I backed Jonathan Davis here, Washington to score the first goal tonight. You got Jakob Dobes, the backup from Montreal. He's allowed the first goal in 14 of 16 starts. That's incredible. Great job by the guy last night, Mike, to nail Aho for the 11-1 last
that was a
goal.
Good one.
Well, here we go again, right? That didn't work out that way in terms of they were down 3-0, but it cashed with the crazy double overtime game. Washington can eliminate Montreal, maybe Ovechkin, maybe someone else, but a nice price to score the final goal. Even empty net scenario, again, an elimination game. Goalie comes out, he stays out. So over in the Washington game, and I think Washington to score first tonight against the backup, and Washington knows they got to finish it tonight with their playoff history.
Let me ask you a question about the Lakers-Wolves game tonight. Would you be more inclined to bet Luka over 31.5, who's been scoring? I mean, he just had almost 40 in the last game.
Over 3.5 threes, not bad.
Or would you look at the assist 6.5 after he did not distribute the ball? What did he have, 1 assist or 2 assists in the last game? That was it?
It's bizarre.
Does that come back to the pack? We go over that one, but he doesn't score 32 points tonight?
I would take the threes over because you still have the blowout scenario too, where this is it. Where we can't go home. LeBron and Luka can't go out in the first round. And then to lose again at home and be down, we're going to go out in 5? I think these guys take over. And they were so good in the games in Minnesota.
I know.
But we'll see what Reddick does with the bench as well.
All right, Chris Sale still has not gotten it out. There's a leadoff double for the Rockies. Yeah. I have the exact opposite of the Midas touch going on right now. Everything I touch does not turn to gold; it turns to crap.
NBA, NHL playoffs heating up. MLB in full swing. We'll get to the great menu that it's offered about most wins in May coming up. The Derby's here. Massaro tomorrow. Eddie Olczyk Friday. Don't just watch. Bet smarter with VSiN Pro. Time's running out. Full VSiN Pro access through August 1st, just $59. 33% off the monthly price. The morning recap from Bill 80. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits, DraftKings and Circa. 24/7 live video. Kentucky Derby betting guide. Every sport, every edge, one low price. Sign up now. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Win some, lose some is up next. A 30, 45, and 80-1 cash last night. And numbers on the Bucks you will not believe. Paulie with the details next here on VSiN.
In the heart of downtown Las Vegas, a sports oasis awaits. Stadium Swim, the ultimate outdoor amphitheater, built for the ultimate sports fan, with a colossal screen that brings the game closer than ever. Reserve a daybed, private cabana, or lounge in the center of it all. 6 pools to dive into as the game heats up. And the best part, there's never an off-season. Open 365 days a year. Stadium Swim, it's always spectator season.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the sports betting network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Fun edition today. Eclectic mix as always. Congrats to the one listener who grabbed the Pacers 30-1 in play. 118-111 Milwaukee at the line, 40 seconds left. They lose in regulation. They missed a free throw. Nebhard from the parking lot. Trent turns it over, and then they foul Halliburton on the and one, and then Trent turns it over again. Just wait to get fouled. And they pass him the ball, goes right through his hands and between his legs, and then you get the clear out one-on-one, and Halliburton gets another layup, and you don't have any time. And they lose the game.
Lopez played 7 minutes. There was nobody back there to help. There was no back line of defense.
Right. Well, here's the other thing now. It took Doc this long to realize what the lineup should be?
Of course it did.
Because Kuzma didn't play, and Lopez didn't play, and Trent got a lot of minutes. Green was great.
Yeah, sure.
He got a lot of minutes.
It
doesn't make any sense. What was he waiting for with the adjustments? That was the lineup that should have been on the floor the whole series.
When did the viewer/listener grab 30-1? When it was 118-111 in overtime?
That range, yeah. Well, at that point, Trent had outscored Indiana in overtime.
Right.
He hit 4 threes, which leads me...
Indiana should have been dead and buried for pretty much the entire game.
It's a 3-possession game with 40 seconds. Yeah. Just don't turn it over.
How does he drop the ball that goes out of bounds?
I know. It hit him right in his hands.
Yeah,
he was 45-1 most points. He did it again.
Wow.
He was on fire, and then he makes the 2 crucial errors. Most assists, Giannis plus 550. Pistons 2-1 on the money line. Nuggets, Clippers, most rebounds. Hello, Brown 80-1.
Is that right?
80-1. Available at DraftKings. Those are up every day. Will Hill, Caesars, and DraftKings. Most points, Murray plus 750. Well, if he's going to play like that, watch out. Now, I'm not expecting that every game, but when you get good playoff Murray and the guy that can just come down and the threes are going in and jumpers going in, good luck.
Jamal Murray has a 50-point game with 0 free throw attempts and a 43-point playoff game with 1 free throw attempt. From our buddy Chad Andrus.
It's impossible.
I mean, when he's healthy,
that's right.
That's why they have screwed this up.
Right.
Again, Westbrook was great last night, but they have 6 guys when he's healthy.
Yep.
That's it.
Most threes, Murray 6-1. Hockey playoffs. You are now up 14 units, betting every game to go to overtime. 14 units.
File it away for next year.
Keep it coming.
We have a viewer, long time since day one, who lives in Canada, who's been doing it forever. There was an outlier like 2 years ago where I think he maybe lost a little bit. He's like, every other year it's been profitable. I believe that's the case.
Yep. Hurricanes in play plus 240. Aho, last goal, 10-11-1. Good job, Mike, to have it. This is from Jonathan Davis. When it's a scoreless first period, bet the second period over in play. It's 6-1. Team that loses and scores first the next game. 19-10. Score in the first period. 20-9. Those continue to cash. Leafs, 1-13 with a chance to eliminate a team since 2017. 0-30 on the power play in those games. Cannot believe it. Great email coming up. Brewers 130 up to 170. Braves $1.80 up to 220. Yankees 145 up to 180. All got there. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on like this gentleman. He says, every time I go to the grocery store and I come back, my dog's like the airport security. He comes in, he's sniffing and going through every bag. Look at him. Okay, what do you got in here? Okay, smell this. What's in here? He goes from every single bag every time they get back from the grocery store. All right, what do you got in here?
I don't like that.
Yeah, right.
I'll take this over here.
His whole face in it. Does it every time they come back. Look at it. Hey, buddy, good-looking pup. Airport security. Excellent. Couple lose some. I mean, how about this video? Jason sent this in with the bear. The gravity coaster track. Can this thing go any faster? I mean, you're on this track, and then you look up, and I got 2 giant bears on the left of me, and then it's where you go in your pants and dive and swim. I mean, this is, you don't know what's going to happen here, right? Look at this. Okay. Hey, buddy, stay calm. No sudden movements. What a freakish occurrence with how the ride is, and then just Can these guys get at you when you're out in the middle of the woods?
Well, here's what I would not like is that how slow the ride's going.
No kidding. Can we
pick it up a little bit here?
Thing up? Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear.
Clearly, a bear can go way faster than this, so if they wanted to come at this person, good luck.
Yeah. Yep. And Jason, another Jason sent this in as well. Oh, boy. We live in this society. Guy's on the airplane. He goes to the bathroom he took his shoes off, and he still goes in the bathroom without. What are you doing? Who knows what's on the floor? I can't. God.
Would you walk into a porta potty
right.
with your shoes off?
Right. Unbelievable. Bad beats. Bucks Pacers under 225 down to 222.
Oh, boy.
That was vicious. That goes over, and a lot of points in overtime as well. Bucks money line 3-1. Again, up 7 with 40 seconds left. In the play-by-play era, we're going back to 96, 97. Teams with a 7-point lead under 40 seconds in the playoffs, fourth quarter or overtime, were 1,609-0. And then only 2 times in the last 20 years has a team in a playoffs been up 7 with less than a minute. It was Doc Rivers with both losses.
Of course.
How about that?
How could it not be?
And Philly's run line. They gave up 4 in the ninth. Won the game but couldn't cover the run line. Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight where the sharp action's landing. Circa takes big bets from pro bettors. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Get the summer special now, $59 through August 1st, VSiN.com/subscribe. It gets worse, Mitch. I wasn't strong enough on this Monday. Dame's out till maybe 2027. They don't have their first-round pick till 2031. Lopez, Portis, and Trent are free agents. In the last 10 playoff games that he's played in, Giannis is averaging 30, 16, and 6. They're 1-9.
Yeah. Well, they need a. I mean, first of all, again,
he's got to ask out.
They brought back the GM.
Yeah, I know. We got an extension.
Nobody on earth could have screwed it up as much as that guy, right? And then there's going to be no Dame, obviously. They actually decided to go with Doc Rivers, which is it makes things worse. But you have to start. That's where you start, Paul. I don't think you start with trading Giannis. You start with, okay, we need a new head coach. Who's it going to be? Mike Malone, any interest? Sure. Wherever. Well, Spoelstra, you want to come here? You can throw it out to a bunch of different names. That's where you begin.
Kuzma had as many turnovers as made field goals in the series.
See what I'm saying? That trade. They thought that guy was going to come here and help.
Yep.
Okay.
It's unfortunate. Third straight year they go out in the first round. Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
This is from Jared. FTM@VSiN.com. Can always email us, tweet, DM us on Instagram as well. Is that the game? What an absolute embarrassment. The Leafs were lifeless. Hardly any emotion or heart. Crowd was dead. The doubt sets in. 1-13 last 14 elimination games. Thought that all they do was show up and win. Crowd's booing them. Imagine that, booing the home team in a playoff game. If they lose tomorrow, all hell will break loose in Toronto. Fans, media, if it comes back for Game 7. The building might collapse from the pressure the Leafs will be under. Nothing like the stress of the Leafs in the playoffs. You can't make it up. He also adds he expects it to be 50-50 in Ottawa, though. Leaf fans will show up and show out. But this is not the same Leaf team as the last 10 years. Good goaltending, sound defense, different coach. They come out with their hair on fire, and they're going to play a great first period, and I expect them to bring it. That's from Jared. You are the man. Very good.
I mean, doesn't that kind of make sense where betting them on the road to maybe win Game 6, plus you're going to get a better number on that, than coming back to bet them in Game 7? The entire area is going to feel the pressure.
Yep, they are underdogs, but that's I cannot believe the comments. We're fine. After 3-0, just became 3-2.
Oh, that sounds a little bit like Doc Rivers after they got smashed the first 2 games.
Very, very confident. Yeah. Things are going to change. We're going to figure this out.
All right, Sale's back for the 7th inning now. He did get out of the 6th. They had a runner on 3rd with nobody out. He got out of that. So now the Rockies lead 2-1, bottom of the 7th. Their bullpen so far doing a good job. Dollander actually got hurt, had to leave. I think he had maybe a blister on his finger. Now the Braves are plus 180 to win the game. I grabbed plus 132, what was it, an inning ago? 2 innings ago? And here come the Marlins. It's 4-3 Dodgers now.
They were 20-1.
As they play in the 6th. Yeah, it was 4-0 immediately.
Yep, and then this Dodger bullpen all of a sudden. What's the deal?
And I have...
We got a game now.
I'm looking at two different scores here. Yeah, okay, it's 2-2 Angels-Mariners right now as they play in the third. That updated total is 9.5 in the game. Angels plus 136 to win it. And Michael King up 2-0 over the Giants. They're now almost $6 to win the game at home against San Francisco.
Ooh.
Total there is 6.5. We could be looking at like a 4-1 game there.
Right. And the two best bullpens in baseball, too.
Yeah, Makinen, great write-up at VSiN.com.
Yep, excellent.
He'll update, I think, that every single week. So it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Up next, Jeff Sherman's going to join the program, VP Risk Management over at the Westgate Superbook. They made a very exciting announcement regarding football contests this year. You definitely want to hear about their new contests. Next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy.